All right, eBay banned my $800 eBay account. Now I'm saying $800 weekly eBay account. When I say banned, I'm talking about I couldn't see it. I couldn't touch it. It's like it never existed. And I remember it because this is something that I depended on. This is not something that is unique to just me. This happens to a bunch of sellers. And I think that to everybody out there that is listing on eBay, to everybody out there that is banned on eBay currently and looking to get reinstated, everybody out there that is trying to build and actually make profit and actually build your business, it's one thing I really want you to remember about eBay. And I didn't know this. It's that eBay cares more about the people buying than the people selling. And I know it's a harsh reality, but I would like to take a second first. I'm going to tell you guys a story, and I want you guys to learn from this because there's a lot of people doing the same thing that I was doing. And before this happens to you and all your money gets put on hold and you can't pay your bills and you almost lose your car, I would like for you to actually be able to avoid these mistakes. But when it comes to approaching eBay from a realistic approach, when you're first starting out, it kind of seems like a slow platform that you may succeed in and you may not. But I'll tell you this, it's all about understanding that consistency breeds results, but consistency has to be paired with execution. And I was executing because I needed to. I just had lost my store and I had product and inventory and I needed to sell it. But just because I had assets doesn't necessarily mean that I was able to just sell online. See, there was an issue. A lot of the products that I had didn't have barcodes. See, I had products that didn't necessarily have barcodes, which made it very difficult for me to list on Amazon. So where did I go? I went to eBay. And this is where I did a little research and I did hear about eBay prioritizing customers over sellers. And then I thought about it, did some more research, and I came to a conclusion that actually made sense. Why would they prioritize sellers when there's so many? Why would they prioritize us when there's so many people that are selling and adding to their platform and very little people that are consistently buying? So they have to hold on to what actually pays their platform, which is the customer. Now I know you might be like, yo, Brandon, what are you talking about, bro? Because you need sellers. Well, you do, but best believe they can always make promotions. Hey, no eBay fees for a week or lower eBay fees. They can always do things to put people on the platform to sell, but they always need to prioritize and have customer retention, because without the customers, there are no sellers. So me coming into eBay, I remember it like it was yesterday. I was listing regular headphones. I wasn't listing no clones, no replicas. I knew nothing about this. This is actually before AirPods were even made. I was listing 3.5 jack headphones. And I was listing these headphones. These were the headphones that came with the iPhone 6, the iPhone 5C, the iPhone SE, those iPhones, right? And I was listing them, and I wasn't getting any sales. I wasn't making no money. At the time, I had an apartment and a bunch of inventory. And I remember me not selling them, but me actually getting so desperate that I would search on YouTube and look for different ways. So I found a YouTuber that was showing how to do bundles and also how to put these mystery boxes together. Sort of kind of like pallets. Remember, I had a whole bunch of inventory and I was trying to liquidate. So I ended up making bundles, different pallets and mystery boxes and selling them on eBay. And I was selling really well. But see, it got to a point where I was actually selling, and then a business owner hit me up and said, I need 500 pieces of the 3.5 jack headphones. I've been ordering them from you for a couple weeks now. Everything's came through fine. My first big order. I killed and crushed that order. Everything was perfect with the order. I felt like I was the man. Then I kept getting more sales. It was like a snowball effect. And I kept growing and kept growing and kept selling and selling. And then what ended up happening was I got to the point to where I got so many orders that I wasn't even focused on shipping. I got so much money that hit my account that shipping became a secondhand thought. And see, that was my first mistake, because then I started getting bad account seller ratings, right? Like it became below average. And back in the day when you became below average, you actually had penalties. So I incurred penalties and I just kept selling. Now at this point with me selling, I started to understand, okay, let me actually go ahead and keep selling these products, the headphones. I started listing chargers. But the problem I was doing was, one, I wasn't shipping. Two, I was shipping cheap products. So a lot of the customers that I would actually ship, they would end up saying, hey, like this broke on me. Can I get a replacement? But I wouldn't send a replacement. And a lot of this happened because that big order that I had with that business guy, it propelled me into another stratosphere with eBay. And I thought to myself, well, instead of keep getting quality products and kicking out all of this money for AAA quality, let me just go with generic. I mean, I'm just still selling the same. It looks the same. I still selling the same thing. Customer just won't know it's a little less quality. So as I kept selling, kept getting orders, it became very evident that the products that I was selling were not lasting for these customers. They started complaining. That's when I started getting eBay cases. So I had my first eBay case, didn't respond. Second eBay case, I responded with no refund, and that's it. And I started to really create a bunch of issues for myself, and it was all self-inflicted. And as you guys, I'm sure, know, I ended up getting my account restricted. So now, fast forward, my account's restricted, guys, and I'm just like, dang. So I ended up emailing eBay, and you know, I have the gift of gab, so I was able to get unrestricted. But now I thought to myself, I took so much time off from eBay because it was months of me being restricted and not having enough money to be able to hold me off. I was running out of my money. So what I did was that this is the point where replicas came. So I started listing some reps on there. And this was before it was all saturated. And I listed the reps. Everything was good. But one problem I did was, it was a pair of iPhone 7 headphones that I listed, and I put lightning. And this is why every eBay video I make, I always tell you guys, don't put lightning. When they say connectivity, do not put lightning. Put anything else but lightning. So I put lightning, and that must have triggered them to look at my account, and they banned me. And I was already up to, I think it was like $843 when I was listing the reps, and then when I was listing the headphones. And it just so happened I slipped up, and I think it was the first time I listed iPhone 7 headphones, and I put lightning because that's what they was, and they banned me. So they banned me, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm just going to get unrestricted like before. So I sent an email, but the email did not get a response that I wanted back. It was just like a generic email, hey, we'll get back to you. And I never was able to get an email back saying my account was going to get unbanned, saying they need an invoice, nothing, right? So I called. And this is back when you can call eBay and literally talk to somebody. So I'm calling. They're like, oh, yes, sir, I'm going to work on this. So they went and worked. And I swear to you, they came back and said to me, hey, so I can't tell you why, but there's nothing we can do for you. So I said, all right, well, what about my money? Well, it's going to take 90 days and you'll get a deposit if all of the funds are still available. I said, what do you mean? So he said, if there's no returns, you'll get your money. I put in my calendar 90 days from that day. I remember. Tell me how I didn't get no money. And if you're wondering why now I have the reinstatement guide, which is below, guys, which teaches you how to get unbanned, stay unrestricted, gives you templates to get out of restrictions, it's because of this. $800 and something went down the drain, and I never was able to recoup that money ever. Now, this only happened to me one time before, and that was with Facebook, but I've never had a moment where I actually sent out products and I got nothing back. I had no products, no money, nothing. And I tried to contact eBay. I didn't have enough money at the time for a lawyer. I literally had the worst taste in my mouth with eBay. And I quit eBay for a while, and that's when I went on Mercari and learned Mercari, and that's why I know how to sell on eBay and Mercari now. But I wanted to tell you guys this because the way that all happened to me, it destroyed my confidence. It set me back financially. And one thing I would tell you guys to really make sure you do is pay attention. I know there's a lot of people out there on eBay that are selling a bunch of products. And I also know there's a lot of people on YouTube that are showing you how to do these things. But a lot of them are doing things like going through storage units, going to Walmarts and Targets and looking in the clearance section. All of these things are thrifting approaches. I'm a reseller. I'm somebody that sells products that are brand new, sell products that I get from distributors. So I put a lot of money out on products that are generic, products that don't really have names. And if you're somebody that's going through this, I want to just share with you some of the best practices I did, which is I went to other platforms like Mercari. I also made sure that I contacted eBay. I also made sure that I did not try and attempt to create another account and just start shipping things immediately. I didn't know how to get them banned back then. I ended up having to learn how to get them banned because I had to recoup my funds. I had to make money. This was like not a hobby to me. It wasn't fun. It wasn't an income stream to me. This was a business. And what I really urge you guys to do is never put your eggs in one basket. Always make sure you have at least 1 or 2 eBay accounts. I have 7. Also, make sure you're using other platforms. There's nothing wrong with using other platforms. And lastly, guys, make sure that you're selling the right type of product. Sell quality. Don't try to take the cheap route because it's always going to come back to bite you in your you know what. And guys, if you need any help with eBay, I have an eBay reinstatement guide. If you're somebody that is banned, restricted, or you want to prevent being banned, if you want to create eBay business accounts, the reinstatement manual is something that will help you. The link is below. You guys can get it right now, and you can also start getting them banned immediately. Like, I don't know how to emphasize the pain it was knowing that inventory was out and money was not being received back. And I would hate for somebody to go through that because not everybody has the mental capacity to say, you know what, I'm going to keep going. Some people, they have these experiences and they just stop selling in totality. And I don't want that to be you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.